If you're somebody that have been thinking about starting a podcast and you're not sure where to start, well, this video is going to help you with the basic information that you need to get started. Podcasts have many benefits to it. So you basically control the narrative of what you want to talk about, even the message that you want to put out there. A lot of people use this time to educate others who are tuned in, and it's another great way to build an audience. So let's say you're an artist and you build an audience and now they're purchasing the stuff that you might be selling, which is another great point. You can make money off of your podcast. You can sell ads, people who might want to sponsor your show so that they can advertise their service or products on your show. So it's a great way to make money in the sense that way, or you could charge people to come on your show if they want to use your platform to get out there. So here are some of the things that you're going to need to get started, all right? Now, you don't have to start off with all of this stuff. I know some people that just use their phone, but I'm going to tell you some of the things that we use. All right, so you're going to need microphones, okay? Definitely a mic for yourself, but if you're going to have guests and they're going to come on your show in person, you're going to need more than one mic. You're going to need a computer. You're going to need an internet. For us, we have an interface. That interface, it controls different mics. It controls if you want sound effects, if you want to be able to receive phone calls. We use the Rodecaster for our podcast. Look into that and look that up on YouTube or something and get the breakdown of everything that the benefits that it has. You're going to need social media and I would say a website, right? So how are you going to reach these people? You got to have maybe a Facebook, a LinkedIn, a YouTube, Twitter, all of these places where you can stream on Twitch. You know, these places you can stream your podcast on. You're also going to need some form of communication skills. If you do not have to speak all proper, you don't have to do that. Honestly, people like people who are way more real and that they could connect to. You're going to need a webcam, a camera, a webcam, something that could capture the video. Now, there are some people who do not believe in video podcasts. They do audio only. They upload it to all the streaming sites where people can listen. That is okay too. So if you want to be seen or if you want visuals, then you're going to need a camera or you're going to need a webcam. And most importantly, when you have all of that stuff, what you're going to need is dedication. You have to stay consistent. So the mic is needed so that your audience can hear you. The computer is used to transmit to your podcast, to transmit your podcast. The interface is used to connect the mics to the computer. Social media and websites is for you to be able to reach your target audience. The webcam is used for people who want a visual of you. They want to see you, or you want people to be able to see you. The headphones, because I don't even think I mentioned that, I apologize. The headphones are used to hear how you sound, and it's also used for you to hear your audience. And this is only if you're plugging it into the interface. Communication skills is what draws the people to your podcast. So based off of how you talk, how you deliver your message is what's going to make people want to tune in. Some of the popular sites that are used to reach the people are Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, now LinkedIn, Twitch. Another good thing to know is what is your podcast going to be about? So you have to really have a niche, right? Because now you know who to target. When making a podcast, you have to decide first what your podcast will be about and how your audience will benefit from listening to you. At this stage, you also decide if your podcast is going to be live or if you want it to be pre-recorded, okay? Now, there are some pros and cons to going live into pre-recording. Okay, so let's start with, I would say, the pros, right, of going live. When you go live, believe me, you save a lot of time, okay? You can really engage with your audience when they are watching you. You don't have to do a lot of editing, and you can stream to multiple sites all at one time. The cons to going live is if internet service is messed up on your end or the other person reasons, and there ain't no fixing it in the middle of the show. So the cons to going live: mistakes are semi-permanent if you don't edit it. I know I'm stating the obvious here, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So let's talk about what are the pros and cons to pre-recording. Mistakes could be edited out. So when you pre-record, if it's a mistake, you can always take that out. Changes could be made at any time. So even if someone doesn't show up, it doesn't affect you at all, because people don't even know that they were coming in the first place, because you don't promote it until you know you got that footage. Pre-recording things may make it difficult depending on how you put it out there, because some of them don't allow you to do it to several different multiple spots, unless you do it where you premiere it and then it just runs. Or if you want to run it live and it's pre-recorded, you might have some restrictions on there. But remember, they change things all the time. So what I'm going to do is go over some of the basic sites that people use when they have a podcast, if they want to use it for visuals. BeLive is one, StreamYard is another, Zoom is one, and believe it or not, Canva. I've been talking about Canva. I love Canva. Canva is also one. I haven't used it, but I actually, you know what? I should try it. Canva is one that you can actually do your podcast on there. OBS can make your podcast look like a TV production, but you have to spend a lot of money and a lot of time learning how to use it. Things change and evolve all the time, so Google these streaming platforms to stay up to date as to what it is that's going on with them. In case you choose to use them, you know what you can and cannot do. Another thing that's important is to make sure that if you are going to have guests on your show, make sure you send them some type of details as to what they should expect when being on your show. Hey, make sure that you click this link. Make sure you come in early. We can test it out. I want to make sure your mic works, that your camera works, your lighting is okay, so people can see you. Your internet is working fine. Please be on time. You know, this is what we're going to be talking about. So you kind of prepare them to be ready. Make sure that you have, you're prepared with your questions. Some people don't like to have their questions. They just like to freestyle, and that's okay too. But for those who do want to have their questions written down, that's perfectly fine as well. There is no right or wrong way how to do it. It's how you feel comfortable doing it. If it's possible and it's visual, always make sure you have a picture of the individual. You never know if the internet goes down. You can hear them, but you can't see them. You can always put their picture up there and people still know that you're talking to that person, okay? If you have a guest that has music or music videos out, try to have that already on hand so that you can play it, or their MP3, and make sure that they send that to you way ahead of time and not during the show, so you're not fiddling around trying to find stuff while you're live. And keep in mind, because this is so important, that if you are playing their music and they did go through all of the steps that are so important, if you watch my artist development / professional video, it's a possibility that you might get copyright claims on them. I believe that they can actually give permission, and if they do, then they will release it so that you can put it out and monetize from it. But some people don't, and that's okay too. When is your podcast going to air? Are you going to be on every day at a certain time? Are you just randomly doing it, which I wouldn't suggest, but to each his own? Are you going to have a specific day every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, Eastern Standard Time, right? So that people know when to tune in. Pick a time and day of the week and be consistent so that your audience knows when to tune into your podcast. Never leave your audience guessing what time your podcast starts or what day it's on. So those are some of the basic things that you need to know. If you're looking to start a podcast, do not be scared or intimidated. Anyone could do it, because almost everybody's doing it. But for those who feel like, oh my God, this seems hard, well, these are the basic things. And guess what? You don't even have to have all that I just mentioned. But believe me, when you want to keep making that level up, then it is good to have that stuff, but you can start with your phone. I hope that this was helpful. If you need help and assistance even after this video, you can contact me and we could discuss how I can help you get your podcast going and off the ground. Happy podcasting. Peace.